All right. Good morning. Happy Thursday. We're almost at the end of the week here. Let's see here. So we have an exam on Friday morning at 8 a.m. And I did write the exam. There are 16 problems, which means that I think there's 10 sections. So every section has 2 problems, except there's 4 sections with 1. So make sure that you know how to do the first 4 problems in each section. So that's all I did. I think past that. So as long as you know how to do the first 4 problems in each section, you should be good to go. Make sure you practice the online problems with the globes in your assignments. And there's no reason if you don't know how to do if you know how to do the first 4 problems in each section, you should get an A on the exam. All right, so let's start with any questions first. Anybody want to ask me any questions about exam P7? No? Okay. Well, yesterday I started talking about P8, which is a lot of application problems, and I decided not to assign them all. I decided just to assign particular problems that apply to real life. And so I posted that this morning. And so what I was saying I'm doing is I'm working the even problems. Therefore, if I work number 2, you should be able to work problem number 1. If I work problem number 12, you should be able to work problem 11. If I work problem number 56, you should be able to work problem 55. So they're matching up. The problems I'm working are matching up to the odds that I'm assigning. So if you look at your notes, you should be able to do the problems. All right. So yesterday I did problem number 2, which had to do with eating and sleeping. And so I'm going to continue on with some problems today. And I'm going to start with problem number 4. So problem number 4 also has a bar graph. And so, and like I said, when you read these problems, you might have to read them a bunch of times for it to make sense. So let's take a look at number 4. I'm on page 1. So please open up your books. Please take good notes. I'm on page 122. All right. So number 4 is referring to the bar graph at the bottom of the page. So see the green graph that says median earnings of full-time U.S. workers, and there's a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate, and a professional. And this is coming from the U.S. Census Bureau. So the problem says the median, which is the middle yearly salary of an American whose final degree is a doctorate is $45,000 less than twice that of an American whose final degree is a bachelor's degree. Combined, 2 people with each of these educational attainments earn $198,000. Find the median yearly salary of Americans with each of these final degrees. Now, like I said, when I read that time I was really focused on it, but I don't remember what I read. And in addition to that, we have to write a mathematical equation. So I'm going to have to, this isn't like you're reading to get a feeling, like I was saying in a novel in English. Mathematics is very technical. And so what you have to do is you have to pick out words and pick out phrases that are going to help you set up a mathematical equation. Okay. And yesterday, what you saw me do is you saw me write kind of like an English math statement, and then I wrote my mathematical equation. All right, so anyhow, let's take a look at the graph first of all. It's a bar graph, And it's showing that the title is very important to know what that shows. It's the median or middle earnings of full workers 25 years and older by final degree earned. So on the left is showing you the median yearly income. So that means what people are making per year. So that's kind of what they'll ask, you know, if you're looking for, if you have to fill out a tax form, or most people ask, what is your yearly income? Like, what are you making a year? Okay. So anyhow, you're gonna have to read this a few times if you're like me. And so remember yesterday, I gave you a strategy, or I gave you, a strategy for solving word problems. So, and I said, what are they asking? That's going to be the variable. You know, what do they want? That's going to be the variable, because it makes sense, right? The question is the unknown. So we're going to let X, which is the unknown. Let's see what they're asking here. They're saying find the yearly salary of Americans with each of these degrees. So we're going to let X be the average salary of an American. And let's just say we're going to, because of the way this is written, we're going to say a bachelor's degree. Now, a bachelor's degree, if you go to San Bernardino Valley College or Riverside City College, they don't give bachelor's degrees. So if you go to one of those community colleges, you will receive an AA degree. That's called an associate's degree. And then hopefully what you would do is transfer to a four-year college like Cal State San Bernardino or UC Riverside, UCLA, and earn a bachelor's degree. So an AA degree in today's world is good, but it's not as good as a bachelor's degree. Most businesses, most companies, corporations are looking for a bachelor's degree, and that's a four-year degree. So the AA or associate's degree is a two-year degree. A bachelor's degree is a four-year degree. So it says the median next, and it has to do with this statement. So what does this say? And how can we use X to make this, write this next expression? Well, like I said, we might have to read it again. It says, an American whose final degree is a doctorate is 45,000 less than twice that degree. So remember, is the bachelor's degree, right? So let me read this again. It says that a doctorate So it says an American whose final degree is a doctorate is 45,000 less. So that word means minus. Twice means multiply. That of an American whose final degree is a bachelor's. So remember yesterday I was telling you that I would always throw in the letter Y and throw in two. Do that. So what you want to do is you define an X, and we define that as the bachelor's degree because that statement that says 45 less than the bachelor's can be using X. All right, so moving right along here. So what's next? Well, they're saying that combined which means add. These words mean mathematics. So it says combined, the two people with these degrees, so a bachelor's and a doctorate, is in math means equals. It says combined with each of these educational attainments earn, which is the equals, 198,000. And I'm not going to put the thousand, I'm just going to write 198. So we know that's not $1.98. We know that's 198,000. So I think we're ready to solve the problem. So the bachelor's is going to be X. The doctorate is 2X minus 45. And they're saying X, that's going to answer this question. And when we find X substituted into this, answer that question. We'll be done with the problem. So 1X plus 2X is 3X, and we just solve a linear equation. Add 45. What is that? 243. Divide by 3. 3 times what is 24? 8. 3 times what is 3? 1. So what exactly does that mean? Well, what was the question again? They say find salary.
Wait a minute, Ms. Birch, what did you do after you added the 45? I can't see.
After I both sides by 3. Yes, no? Hello?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. So anyhow, so now we want to write a statement. Well, we want to figure this out. So first of all, I'm just going to write this. The bachelor's is going to be X, which is 81, and the doctorate is 2X minus 40, which is 2 times 81 minus 45, which is 162 minus 45, which is, can somebody on the calculator, what's 162 minus 45? Somebody. I don't have my calculator.
$117.
117, thanks. Okay, so now we're ready to write the statement for a human being. So this is what we're gonna say. The average salary for an American, the average salary for an American with a bachelor's degree and I'll just say bachelor's, is 81,000. Write the word thousand or just put 81,000. And for a doctorate, which is 6 years, or actually it's like 8 years, gonna be more, $117,000. So the average salary for an American with a bachelor's degree is 81 grand, and for a doctorate is 117,000. But you have to go through more schooling for the doctorate, and you get the title doctor. Okay, so the other problems I'm going to do are a little less intense, but idea. Let's move on. So let me put it this way. what I found out is, knowing that I couldn't do this before my whole life, the more of these I do, the easier it gets. So it's just like, you know, practicing anything. The more you do, the easier it gets. So let's just do some more problems. Okay, so let's skip down now to number 16. So number 16, which means you're going to have to know how to do number 15. Okay, so number 16 says, now this is going to be good for you if you're a shopper, or have you ever gone into Kohl's or Target or Walmart and it says 30% off and you're wondering, well, how much is it? You know, so now you can figure it out. You just pull out your phone, get your calculator, and you can figure it out and tell your mom, yeah, it was $20, but now it's only $15. Or for a television. Yeah, it was $900, but now it's only $500. All right, so read this. After a 30% reduction, you purchase a dictionary for $30.80. What was the price before the reduction? So in other words, there was a 30% reduction, but how much did the dictionary cost initially? Expensive dictionary. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to let X equal the cost, because that's what we're trying to find, right? The cost of the dictionary. So remember, the variable is always the unknown. And in this case, we're trying to find the cost of the dictionary. So X is the cost of the dictionary. All right, so next, we want to see we want to write an equation. And they're actually telling us that you purchase a dictionary for $30.80. So does everybody agree that your purchase is $30.80?
Yes.
So you see this weird equation that I wrote that I believe that you're going to understand? So my purchase is $30.80. Well, how can I represent my purchase? Using the variable. Well, that is the question. X is the original cost, right? And the question is, how do I show the reduction? This is the tricky part, but after I show you, it's going to clear up a lot of stuff. So don't you guys agree that if I took the cost of the dictionary minus the reduction, I'm going to get what I paid for it? But the question is, how do we do that? Okay, here it is. Ready? If we go see a movie, I hope the theaters don't close down, you guys. I love going to the movies, and half the time I don't even like the movies. I don't even care about the movie. I just want to eat the popcorn. So let's say we're going to the movies, right? All of us. There are like 24 of you. Do I go to the ticket window and say, can I please have 24 tickets? Here's $24. Doesn't work that way, right? So if we were going to the movies, wouldn't it be 24 times the cost of the ticket? So wouldn't it would be 24 times the cost of the ticket, right?
Yeah.
So if I have a 30% reduction, we know that 30%, to write it as a decimal, you move the decimal 2 places to the left, right? Like 20%, we would get rid of the percent and move the decimal 2 places to the left. So wouldn't the reduction be 0.30 times the cost? Wouldn't it be 30% off the cost?
Because the 30% represents the cost, right? As well.
30% represents how much reduction, but
Okay, yeah.
but like my ticket example, we have to have the number associated to the dollar amount of the tickets. Let's do another example. Let's say we're going to go to a concert. So we're going to go see Eminem. Well, there's 24 of us, right? So when I go to buy the concert tickets, I don't pay $24. It's 24 times 300 or however much it is to see Eminem, right? Up close. Right? So wouldn't it have to be 24 times $300 each?
Yeah.
So over here, doesn't the reduction have to be 30% times the total number?
Yeah, I get that now. That makes sense. Yeah.
Right? And so this is the equation. That's it. It's the cost of the dictionary minus the reduction. And the reduction has to be the percent associated to the number. Just like these are associated. So let's just do the problem and see if it makes sense. Okay? Now, the cost of the dictionary, right? So here we go. So this is 1. So 1 minus 0.30 is what, 0.70? And we're working with decimals, so we're going to use a calculator. So we're going to divide by 0.70. So here we go. What's $30.80 divided by 0.70?
44.
44?
Yeah.
So that makes sense, right? If we paid $30.80 with the discount, wouldn't the original price be $44?
Yeah.
So the dictionary price before the discount was $44. So if you want to find the discount, if you wanted to, you could take 44 minus 30.80 to find out how much you saved. In fact, let's do that. So the dictionary was $44 and we paid $30.80. Can somebody put this on the calculator, please? What's 44 minus 30.80? And that's how much we saved. Is it $13.20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we paid $30.80. The original price was $44 and we saved $13.20 with that 30% discount. Now, I know this right here seems weird to you, but I'm going to work some more problems like it and you'll get used to this. Just remember that when you're talking about the cost of something, you have to consider the number and you have to consider a product of 2 things like this. So this is the tricky part, and this is what I hope to clear up today, that right there. So this is the amount of discount associated to a cost. So X would be the cost of the dictionary minus the discount. So it's not just minus 30, it's minus 30X. Okay, is it okay if I erase this? This is gonna get cleared up. I'm gonna keep doing some more. Yeah?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, so if you're kind of confused, that's okay. I'm gonna try to clear it up by working some more problems so you can see what I'm talking about. But I never understood that either. I'm just like, this is, yeah, I didn't get it. But hopefully you will in my explanations. So it's my job to try to get this cleared up. Okay, that was problem number 16. So now I want to do problem number 18. You're going to be doing problem number 17. Let's read this problem. Including 5% sales tax and inn charges $2.52 per night, find the inn's nightly cost before the tax is added. So I don't know about you guys, are probably too young, but like when I go to Vegas or Palm Springs or something, you know, they tell you the price of the hotel room, but then they add this tax to it, which could be $100 more. So when you're trying to find out the price of something, you just want to know what's the price. But then when you get there, they add this sales tax, which could be really bad. So we're going to, in this problem, we're going to let X be the nightly cost of the room. Because what they're asking us to find, they're asking us to find the inn's nightly cost before the tax is included. So what's next? So we should say the tax room before the tax. So in other words, we're going to find out how much tax they're putting on us here. All right. So how do we write this thing? Well, it says including 5% sales tax and in charges $2.52. So the $2.52 represents what? It represents what the inn charges per night. So how do we write what the inn charges per night? Well, couldn't we take the cost before the tax and add the tax? And wouldn't the tax be 0.05x? Because we know that 5% is 0.05, and don't we have to multiply it to the cost? To represent the cost per night?
Ms. Birch, I'm curious of why you wrote night that way. Like, what was the reason behind that?
Oh, no reason.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I thought it was like, I was like, is it an abbreviation? But yeah, never mind. Thank you, though.
No, it was just wrong. Sorry, my bad. All right. But do you see what I did here? Is that I took the nightly cost, and this represents the tax, not just 0.05. It has to be 0.05 times the cost. You with me? So X represents the cost, 0.05X represents the 5% that's going to be added to the cost.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, so we're going to add this 1.05. Now remember, when you add decimals, you have to line up the decimals. So this is 1.0 plus 0.05 is 1.05x equals 252. And so when you solve for this, what's 252 divided by 1.05?
240.
Exactly 240?
Yeah.
So that's it. We're done. So what did we find out? We found out that, and we're going to answer the question, the nightly cost of the room before tax is $240. So we found the variable, we answered the question, the nightly cost of the room is $240. So see what I mean? Look how much tax. So 252 minus 240 is how much tax they charged, because that was the cost of the room before the tax. But the main thing I want you to see is this right here. So the charge per night is going to be X plus the tax, which is 0.05X. Let's try some more. Hopefully it's getting a little more clear on how to set it up. Because remember, an equation is an equivalent statement. So the right side has to equal the left side. They're just represented in different ways. Lots of times the right side is just a number, and it's the left side that has the variable in it. Okay, let's do number 20. You're going to do 19. So what's number 20 say? Number 20 says the selling price of a calculator is $15. If the markup is 25% of the dealer's cost, what is the dealer's cost of the calculator? So what's happening is the calculator is a certain price, but Staples or Best Buy, they're upping the price to make money. So let's define the variable. So watch what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to let C be the dealer's cost. And I'm just writing that to be descriptive. You can use X if you want. You can use any letter you want, but don't use letters like I, because that's imaginary. There's certain letters you don't want to use, but C is descriptive. So C is the dealer's cost. Okay, if C is the dealer's cost, let's read it again. The selling price of a scientific calculator is $15. So that's the calculator. What do they call it? The selling price. It's $15. So we want to represent the selling price using the variable. So it says that the markup is 25%. That's a lot. This person's going to make a lot of money. Markup of 25%. Wow. All right. Well, whatever. So what did we do? Well, this 15 is going to stay there. And how do we represent this? Well, the dealer's cost is C, right? And the markup is 25% of the cost. Okay, unmute yourself and tell me, did you know what to write? Please unmute yourself and tell me you knew what to write.
I'm sorry, what was that, Miss Birch? I didn't hear you because it broke up for me.
I'm asking you guys to unmute yourself and tell me that you knew what to write. That you knew how to write the dealer's cost plus the markup.
More or less.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I know that you're always gonna want to get the percent of the cost. That's why it has 25%. So you move the decimal
Exactly.
over to the left. Yeah.
Exactly. Look what you said. You said 25% of the cost, and 25 of means multiply in math. So it's exactly what you said. You said 25% of the cost of means multiply, and that's where we're getting that 0.25 times C from.
Yeah.
And so listen to this. So if it says markup, you add. If it says reduction, you subtract. If it says increase, you add. So pay attention to those words. If it says increase, you add. If it says decrease, you subtract. All right.
Okay.
When you line up the decimals, this would be 1.0 plus 0.25. So wouldn't this be 1.25C? So you divide by 1.25. So can you tell me on the calculator, please, what's 15 divided by 1.25?
12.
12?
Yeah.
Even?
Yeah.
So that's it. We would just say the dealer's cost is $12. And he's selling it for $15. So he's making $3 on every calculator, the big jerk. Now, this doesn't really matter with this problem, but when you buy a car, let's say you buy a car for $50,000, you want to know the dealer's cost because you don't want him to be making $5,000 or $6,000 on you, right? So you want to know what that dealer is paying for the car because you don't want them to mark you up so much that you're paying $5,000 or $6,000 more for the car. So you want to know the dealer's cost of the car.
Wait, so Ms. Birch, you added the 1 to the 0.20, the 0.25. So that's how you got 1.25, right?
Yeah, because remember when you add decimals, you have to line up the decimals. So this is 1.0 and this is 0.25. So when you line up the decimals, you get 1.25.
And does that say 16 dealers cost $12?
It says the dealer is $12. Let's keep going on. Stop me anytime you have a question. The reason why I'm not just stopping and taking questions is because, excuse me, there's probably confusion, but the more I work, I'm hoping that the confusion will settle down. Okay, that was number 20. Okay, now let's go on to problem number 26. So problem number 26 says, now we're going into geometry. All right, going into geometry now. And you're gonna draw pictures now. So it says a rectangular swimming pool is 3 times as long as it is wide. So don't you want to let W equal the width? Or X, whatever. And then we want to represent the length. So let me read it again. It says a rectangular swimming pool is 3 times as long. 3 times as long. 3 times as long as it is wide. So a rectangular swimming pool is 3 times as long as it is wide. You guys okay? Now it says that the perimeter is 320 feet. You have to know what perimeter is. And if you don't know, you're going to have to look it up in your geometry book or online. But the perimeter is the distance around a polygon. So the perimeter means it would be W plus W plus 3W plus 3W equals 320 feet. And if you don't like writing it like that, you could write 2 times W and 2 times 3W, however you write it, but it's the distance around a polygon. So remember what the question is. The question is, what are the dimensions? In other words, they want to know what is the width and what is the length. And we already know that the width is W, got to find a number, and the width is 3W. So we're going to solve the equation now. This is true, right? The perimeter is 320. That's the perimeter. So what's 3 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1? That would be 8W. And now we divide by 8. W is equal 8 times what is 32? 40. So over here, we know that the width is 40 feet. And we know that the length is 3 times 40, which is 120 feet. So our answer would be the dimensions of the pool. And we could say it like this if we wanted to. The dimensions are 40 by 20. 120. 40 by 120 feet. You don't have to write it like that if you don't want. You could say the dimensions are, the width is 40 feet and the length is 120 feet. But this is another way to write it. The dimensions of the pool are 40 by 120 feet. A human being would understand that. They would know that 40 is the width and 120 is the length. Now, how could this help you? Well, if you wanted to put tile around your pool or rocks around your flower bed or anything rectangular, wouldn't it be nice to go to Home Depot and say, these are the dimensions? So that you're not guessing about the materials and spending a lot of extra money for nothing, or not getting enough material and having to go back to Home Depot? Okay, so you have to know what the perimeter is here. It's the distance around a polygon, which would be 3W plus W plus 3W plus W. There's 2 widths and 2 lengths. Okay, any questions about this? So that was some geometry there. We see a lot of geometry in real life. Let's do 28, which is also geometry. You'll be doing 27. So once again, look at this one. It's a pool again. And it says the length of a rectangular pool is 6 meters less than twice the width. So I might have to read that a few times. The length of a rectangular swimming pool is 6 meters less than twice. Okay, so once again, I'm going to define the width. And I'm going to represent the length in terms of W. I got to read this again. The length of a rectangular pool is 6 meters less than twice the width. So does that represent 6 less than twice the width? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So now, what does it say? It says if a pool's perimeter is 126 meters, couldn't we just say W plus 2W minus 6, 2W minus 6? So aren't there 2 W's plus 2 lengths? Or you could write it out like I did in the last problem. Can you guys unmute yourself and tell me if you understand what I did? That there's 2 widths and 2 lengths?
Why did you do that? I'm just curious. I'm like,
Okay, this is a W.
yeah.
2W minus 6. Isn't this another 2W minus 6?
Oh yeah, because it's the same thing. Yeah.
W? And isn't perimeter the distance around the polygon?
Yeah. Okay.
So we have 2 W's and 2 of the others.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to distribute. So this would be 4W minus 12 equals 126. So we're going to combine like terms. 6W minus 12 equals 126. We're going to add 12. 6W equals 138. W equals 6 times what is 13 without going over 2 with one remainder. 6 times what is 18. So that means that the width, which is W, is 23, what did they call it? 23 meters. And the length is 2W minus 6, which is 2 times 23 minus 6, which is 46 minus 6, which is 40 meters. And in the problem, they're asking for the dimensions again. Which is the length and the width. The dimensions of the pool are 23 by 40 meters. And like I said, if you don't want to write it like that, then you just write the dimensions of the pool are the width is 23 meters and the length is 40 meters. But anybody at Home Depot or Lowe's, they're going to understand that. Okay, questions? Can you guys unmute yourself and let me know, are you like getting the hang of it? It's not as bad as you thought, like you see what's going on, or are we just totally lost?
I feel like these geometry ones are easier for me than the other ones that we did.
Yeah, yeah. And that's because you've had some geometry, so you feel more comfortable. The other stuff is probably like brand new. You've never seen it before. Yeah, it might take a little bit, you know, have to work a few problems to get it. So yeah, that's not surprising that you feel more comfortable with the geometry. Can I get some feedback from others, please?
Okay, so it's not as difficult as I thought it would be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, good. I know they can be really intimidating. But I did want to go over this with you guys to show you. See, because all those tests we take, those standards tests, the CASP, you know, the SAT, they're always throwing these problems in. So I figured I was actually going to skip this because I'm like, nah, I'm not going to burden them with this. But then I'm like, you know what? They see this all the time and they shouldn't be afraid of it. You know, so go ahead and try to attack it. Let's look at number 30. It's another pool problem. So this time it says a rectangular swimming pool in the figure. It measures 40 by 60 feet. So draw a picture. They might have drawn the picture for you. I think they drew the picture. Okay, it says, and is surrounded by a path around the edges. Okay, so this would be 40 feet, and this would be 60 feet, and there's a path. So I don't know how to do this yet. All right, of uniform width around the four edges. The perimeter of the rectangle formed by the pool and the surrounding path is 248. Still don't know what I'm doing. Determine the width of the path. Oh, great. So we're going to let W be the width of the path. So this is between that right there is the width of the path. That's the question. I still don't know what I'm doing. Let me read it again. So we're going to let W be the width of the path. Well, here's the deal. We don't know anything about the path. So let's set up what we do know about, and that's the length and the width of the pool. So if we take the width of the path, if we take the width of the path, width of the pool and the path, this is tricky, and we take the width of the pool, the length of the pool and the path. Let's see if we can set up something here. I'm just guessing. So the width of the path, we don't know. They want, that's what they want. And notice that I'm just writing. So don't be afraid just to write. So I still don't know what I'm doing, okay? So I'm just writing stuff. So the width of the pool, we know, is 40. And wouldn't plus the path be plus W? And there's two of them. Does that make sense or no? The width of the pool and the path. The width of the pool plus 2W. Okay, here's the question. Why is it 2W? And the length would be 60 plus 2W. Do you guys know? And the perimeter is going to be twice the length. Do you guys know why I'm setting it up like that? So the width of the pool, why am I not putting 40 plus W. Why am I putting 40 plus 2W?
Because there's 2 of each on each side.
Uh-huh, yep. So the perimeter would be 2, is that right? 2 times 40 plus 2W plus 2 times 60 plus 2W is equal to 248. So this would be 80 plus 4W plus 120 plus 4W is equal to 248. So combine the like terms, this would be what, 200 plus 8W is equal to 2. And that would be 8W is equal to 48, divide by 8, W is equal to 6. So the width of the path is 6 feet. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't get out of my mind right now. I'm thinking this should be 4 plus W. I mean, 40. Oh, I see.
Wait, Miss Birch, what do we do with the 200 though?
Subtract 200 from both sides.
Oh.
Solving an equation, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
So right now I have to look at this again because I'm wondering about the 40 plus 2W. I keep wanting to say 40 plus W. Hold on, I think I got it figured out. They're saying the perimeter of the rectangle formed by the pool. Okay, I got it, guys. I got it. This right here is the perimeter around the path and the pool. So see this 40? We would have to add that W and that W. So there's 2 of them. And the length would be 60 W plus W. So that's where the 2's coming from. Because they're talking about the perimeter of the pool and the path. Tricky. All right, let's try another one. That was a tricky one. Okay, that one almost had me stumped for a second. Let's try another one. That wasn't so nice. Okay, let's try 32. You'll do 31. So number 32 is a rectangular parking lot. All right, here we go. A rectangular parking lot has a length that's 3 yards greater than the width. So once again, we're going to define the width because they're saying that the length is something else. So the width, and then look what they're saying about the length. They're saying that a rectangular parking lot is 3 yards greater than the width. So let me start over. Rectangular parking lot has a length that's 3 yards greater than the width. The parking lot, the area, now isn't area of a rectangle length times width? So now they're not using perimeter, they're using the area of a rectangle. So I'm going to start over. A rectangular parking lot has a length that's 3 yards greater. Area of the parking lot is 180. This is easier, right? Because don't we just have to put length times width in? And what's the length times the width? Isn't that W times W plus 3? So this was a lot easier. Can you guys unmute yourself and tell me that you're following this or not?
Yeah, I'm following that.
Yeah, same.
So this would be W squared plus 3W equals 180, a quadratic. So that means you have to use one of the quadratic solving methods that you're going to have a test on in P7. You have to either solve it by square roots, which you can't because there's a W. You have to solve it by factoring, completing the square of the quadratic formula. Now let me just tell you, I'm going to set this thing equal to 0 and see if I can factor. So W squared plus 3W minus 180 is equal to 0. I'm going to try to factor and use the 0 product property because I don't want.
Can you go down real quick, Miss Bridge?
I don't want to. Yeah, give me do it because I see it. So just before you speak, just give me time to move it. All right. So what multiplies to give negative 180 and adds to give 3? One times 180, 3 times 60, 4, 5, 6 times 30. It's got to be bigger. 9 times 20. Can you guys help me out? Does 12 go into 180? Does 13 go into 180? Does 14 go into 180?
Let me check it out real quick, Miss Bridge.
Yeah, if we can't find it, we're going to have to use the quadratic formula, which I really don't want to do. So you're going to take 180 divided by 13, 180 divided by 14. Nope. 180 divided by 15. Yep.
12 times 15.
Yep. And that's the one we want.
Yeah.
So we want W plus 15 times W minus 12. So what makes this 0? Come on, guys. What makes that 0?
Negative 15.
Negative 15.
And what makes that 0?
12.
Positive 12.
Now, look can we have a parking lot. Can a parking lot can the width be negative?
No.
So we have to throw that out. And so what we have here is we have the width being W, which is 12 something, 12 yards. And we have the length, which is W plus 3, being 12 plus 3, or 15 yards. And you throw out the negative because it doesn't make sense in this real life problem. And so the question is, find the length of the width. So you would say the width is 12 yards. And the length is 15 yards. And we're done. So this time they didn't say the perimeter. So the perimeter is the distance around a polygon. The area is what's inside, like if you want carpet. Different formula. And thank goodness we were able to solve by factoring, and look at, we did it in 2 steps rather than using the quadratic formula, which would take 8 or 9 steps. So it took a minute to find the two factors, but once we
Miss
found the
Birch,
factors, the problem was
but-
easy.
But I thought because oh wait, never mind. No, because I was just thinking because when we did the little like what we got the numbers that were like canceled out to get 0, right? I thought that the 15's a negative, right? That we couldn't use that one.
Well, what makes this 0 negative 15?
Yeah,
So we can't use 15.
yeah.
And we did not use negative 15.
Oh yeah, never mind.
12,
Yeah.
right? So we didn't use negative 15 at all. Right? I substituted 12 in here. You guys are doing good hanging in with me. See if I can do another one. 34. Each side of a square. So each side of a square is the area of this new larger square is find the side of the original square. So S would be the side of the original square. So S is the side of the original square. Saying what? That each side is lengthened by 2. So that would be what? The side of the new square? And they're saying that the area of the larger square is 36 square inches. This is the area of the larger one. So how do we represent?
Wait, Ms. Birch, if you don't mind, can you scroll up a little bit? I just can't see like the first part because I heard you talking, but I don't know. It was like freezing. Thank you.
Write this, you guys. Wouldn't it just be length, and it's a square times width of the large square? Doesn't that represent the length times the width of the large square? And then this is the large square area? Yes?
Yes.
Length times width. Length times width. So we're going to FOIL. So we have S squared plus 2S plus outer plus last would be 36. So we have S squared plus 4S plus 4 equals 36. We're going to try to factor again. Keep your fingers crossed. You're going to set it equal to 0. So it'd be plus 4S minus 32. So hopefully we can do what multiplies to give 32 and adds to give 4, negative 32.
Eight and 4.
Right. So it'd be S plus 8 times S minus 4. That multiplies to get the negative and adds to give 4. So what can X not be? I'm sorry, what makes S What makes a 0? -8. And what makes that 0? And since we're talking about length again, it cannot be negative.
Ms. Birch, can you scroll down a little bit?
Down.
Yeah, thank you.
So the question was, find the length of the side of the original square. So the length of the side of the original square is 4 inches.
You said the length of the new square is the
The
original.
length of the side of the original square is 4 inches. So the main thing is with this equation, you guys, if they're saying that the area of the large square is 36 square inches, you have to set that equal to the area of the large square. And then you have to use this information to represent the area of the large square. Well, if a side of the new square is s plus 2, a square has, the sides are the same, right? So if we were trying to find the length times the width, it would be s plus 2 times s plus 2. That's the length times the width. All right, I'm going to try to do one more problem. Anybody want to ask anything before I erase this? Go ahead.
I have a question. I was curious about why we didn't do the last thing where we put like from the last problem, number 32, where you did like the length plus the the width plus the length. But is it because we're doing a square, not necessarily like a pool, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be like a rectangle. Is that why we did it that way and we just left it at that?
One of the problems was a rectangle.
Yeah. Okay, so it's
square.
okay.
And
Okay,
this is talking about the area, which would be the length times the width,
of the
and
square.
the length times the width in the square are the same.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So you guys realize that these problems without algebra would be near impossible to solve. So just using common sense and using basic math would take maybe years to solve. So the algebra is what's making it easy to solve these problems. Because if you didn't have algebra, it would be just crazy to try to solve. And now I've lost my marker. It's crazy how you have something in front of you and then it's just gone. All right. So one more. Let me see if I can get this in really quick, or at least part of it. What problem did I just do? 34?
Yeah.
This is 36. Let me just see if I can set it up. A vacant rectangular lot is turned into a vegetable garden measuring 15 meters by 12. So a vacant, on 36, a vacant rectangular lot is being turned into a community vegetable garden measuring 15 by 12. A path of uniform width is to surround the garden. I guess for people to walk around. If the area of the lot is 30, okay, so the area of the lot is 378 square meters. So that's the area of the lot. And remember, area is length times width with the rectangle. So the area of the lot is 378 square meters. Find the width of the path. Okay, so number 36. Find the width of the path. Okay, so we'll let just X be the width of the path. What are we going to do? Well, wouldn't we do what we did before? Wouldn't we say, okay, well, the width plus the path, wouldn't the width in the path be 12 plus 2x? And wouldn't the width, the length plus the path be 15 plus x plus x? 15 plus x plus x? So wouldn't the area be 12 plus 2x times 15 plus 2x equals 378? Yes. So I'm only going to go for a few more minutes. This is a FOIL. So what's 12 times 15? I need somebody on the calculator. And I'm waiting. Times 15, 12 times 15 on the calculator.
180.
So first, outer, inner, last. It's a quadratic. So I'm going to put the 4x squared in front. This is going to be 54x plus 180. So I'm just switching things around. Equals 378. Set it equal to 0. So we're going to hope we can factor 4x squared plus 54x minus what's 378 minus 180? 378 minus 180. $378 minus 180.
Isn't it 198?
Okay, now I hope we can divide by 4 because I don't want to use factory method 6. I don't want to use the quadratic formula. So divide by 4. Divide by 4. It's not going to work.
Wait, Miss Birch, it's 198.
Okay, this should be 4x squared plus 54x plus 180. So there's a mistake somewhere. So once again, this should be 4x squared plus 54x plus 180. Oh, that is what we have, 378. Okay, so the next step. So yeah, this is right. This is right. And you can't divide by 4, but you can do you can divide by 2. So divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. All right, so you can do it. You can finish it. So this is right. This is right. And you guys try to finish it. Okay? All right, well, I hope this helped. I hope you're more cognizant of some stories.
Thank you, Ms. Birch.
Yeah, and you won't be so scared to approach them. You guys have a good day, okay? And good luck on the exam tomorrow. Don't do this tonight. Work on the exam, study for the exam. Okay? All right, have a good day. Good luck on the exam.